Welcome back to the Mid-Year YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're going over my experience at Corvettes at Carlisle 2024, so be sure to stick around. If you want to see more about Corvettes at Carlisle, make sure you check out Backyard Barn Finds video. He did a little in-depth video walking around the show, checking out different cars, projects, and parts. And I was in that video as well, so make sure you check that out. If you're new to the channel or you're new to the Corvettes at Carlisle scene, definitely check it out. It's a really cool experience where it's the world's largest Corvette show. It's not just for the shiny cars. They have a whole show field. They have a racetrack where they have a little autocross course set up. They have different shows and awards going on. They have a midway with all kinds of different vendors. And they also have the swap meet section, which is one of my personal favorites. And that's where I set up shop with a Roadster Shop Spec 7 chassis. We were dealers for them, so we set up a little booth there. And the last time you saw, I got my display ready to take to Corvettes at Carlisle. So we loaded up the box truck, headed on out to Carlisle, and got the display set up there. And the feedback on it was really good. I actually got an email back from Roadster Shop, and they said that one of their good customers came by the booth, was impressed by it, and he felt so much about it that he had to tell them and let them know that he was really happy with what he saw. And I told everybody that came to look at the chassis that they basically sell themselves. The welds, the engineering, the design work, the execution. They're just a really, really nice piece of engineering. So it's not really hard to convince people that want to go that route to go that route. So it's really cool to interact with a lot of subscribers and people that have Roadster Shop chassis, either under Corvettes, they have one on order. So we definitely answered a lot of questions with the floor work, which I have. I believe this car is actually going to get a Roadster Shop chassis. This one is, and I have there's several more that's going to be getting them. So I'll have many videos coming up. Make sure you check those out on how to do that on coupes and convertibles. So that was really awesome to meet everybody. And then I also met a lot of fans that just came by to say hello, that appreciate my videos and that have their own projects. And I think it's crazy how many people walk up to me and ask me so many detailed questions about these cars that are significantly older than I am and that have done a lot more than I have, and they're asking me questions, which is kind of neat. So I guess the YouTube channel has elevated me to a different status, which is always cool. And every year it seems like my channel doubles in size. So that means there's like twice as more people coming up to shake my hand and say hello. Thursday, a guy didn't even have a chance to get water, go to the bathroom, get food, or even really see any of the show. I pretty much sat in the booth, got everything set up, and I was hanging up t-shirts and setting up the tent before people were walking over shaking my hand, which is always great to meet people. It's just crazy how a line shows up, you know, and as soon as one person leaves, the next person comes. It's just kind of a humbling, it's a neat experience. It's very weird for you know, because I'm just a guy making videos, working in a garage. It's just really cool to see that all come together and get recognized, and just to hang out with some friends and meet some new people. There's always good people that stop by, so I really appreciate that. It's a very humbling experience, and I have definitely one of the best support systems on YouTube that there is, so I appreciate that very much. But as far as the show, I have some things to show you here. I didn't get a lot of chance to walk around and check everything out. I normally try to cover every single row of parts, but I wasn't able to do that this year just because I really wasn't able to get away just with the booth and everything. But I was able to fill up the box truck full of stuff. Everything I got was for future builds. Like this car, I picked up a bunch of fiberglass from Dynamic Corvettes. I picked up stuff for the 65 Roadster that I'm going to be doing from Dynamic. And I picked up stuff for several other projects. I have a 66 coupe coming down the pipeline that we got a brand new press molded front end, which I want to give a shout out to Vet Masters. I have a video coming up on their brand new reproduction center console very soon. But I also wanted to give you guys a quick look at their front end. They just came out with a press molded front end, which you've seen in my other videos. I have their press molded quarter panels here. These are really nice pieces, and now they started making whole front ends, and they started making every individual piece of fiberglass in there, and they have a jig where they put them together with the inner fenders. I'm going to make another video coming up here soon comparing hand laid and press molded front ends, just to give you guys a comparison if you really don't know the differences. But I'm a nerd for original bonding seams, like the seam that would have been here originally between the deck and the quarter panel, and the same with the taillight panel and the rear deck. I'm a nerd for seeing original seams, and the seams on their front ends, I'll show you this 63 front end, they just look spot on. They just look really original, And that's a really nice piece. I'm excited to use that one on that 66 coupe, which should be coming up next year. I'm trying to figure out what to do with this here C1 Corvette project. I have the rear clip that I bought, I don't know, a year ago, and now we have a cowl for it. I need to get doors, deck lid, hood, trunk. I need to get all the big body pieces, and then a front end. I need to get all that stuff still. I'm really not sure what direction I want to go. Maddie really likes the 58 to 60 Vettes. I like those as well, but I really like 56 and 57. And I've been, again, she's the boss on this project. It's her idea to know, which direction do we go with it. But I saw at Carlisle there was a beautiful 57 and 58 Corvette, both Fuelies, both black with red interiors, stunning cars, side by side in the car corral area. I looked at those cars, and man, it's just hard to pass up the 56 and 57. So let me know in the comments, which car do you prefer? They're both absolutely gorgeous, and I don't think you can go wrong with either. We want to build a resto mod. I would really love to do a 56 or 57. I love the dash of them. I love the single headlights. I love the little scoops on the fenders and just the shape of the hood. I don't know. Maybe because they made less of them, I like them. I really don't know why. I used to love 58 to 60 more, but now my taste has kind of changed. Either way, she's the boss. She gets to pick what direction we go on that. That project's way down the road. But let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to hear it. And now, I guess let's get into all the takes that we have from Carlisle, all the good parts, and see all the space I'm running out of. So we made it back from Carlisle. I have the new Vetmasters front end sitting here. We had delivered without the gills. I have those sitting at home, and they also make these really nice vents here that are installed so that way they can set the fender height and hood height and all that stuff. So this guy's really nice. This is going to be for a future project, a 66 coupe. And then you guys saw this car that I had at our booth. So I threw this floor that's going to belong to this car, and there's the firewall. So what we're going to do is unload the car and put it away temporarily. And then in here, brother, it's hot and we got a lot of unloading to do. So we've got inner fenders, firewall covers, hoods, core supports, rear floors, front floors, parts of a C1, tent, chairs, we got doors, a lot of parts from Dynamic. All right, so where do we begin? So I've started yard sailing everything. You see I have a chunk of a C1 here. The main reason I was interested in this piece is because it's got a striker, gas door, even though it's got a little bit of a crease in it, got a hinge, and it's a little bit of extra door jamb fiberglass or whatever we need for the 60 project. Couple of deck lids, and you can see now we have some front floors and a stack of rear floors, 267 doors, and some more dynamic stuff. And way in the back is I believe it's from a 62, a cow of a car that was on fire, and I'll use that with the 60 to put together some seat cushions. And all these white dynamic parts are going to be for the sacrificial split. All the black ones that are laid out over here are going to be for the 65 Roadster. That's the front half of the floor. That one's going to be on the back burner until we get all the build details figured out. But at Carlisle, that one found a home, so we're going to build that car to his specs. Yeah, now it's got to go all the stuff out of here. All right, so we have the truck mostly unloaded, and it's just all yard sailed out here for the most part. But you can see here is our cowl section for our 60. Now, I keep saying 60, but like I said, this cowl is from a later car, and I'm gonna start to try to convince Maddie that we should do a 56 or 57, kind of rebody the front, because the backs are basically the same. And I don't have a hood, doors, or a deck lid, or trunk, so we can kind of change it up. But you can see we've got hinges on it. This car's life looks like it most likely ended because of a fire over here, but I also have a firewall replacement panel for the area in here that's damaged. But you can see we have our structure on both sides, we have the floor that we're missing, the tunnel, the dash, all this stuff up top will get replaced whenever I'm going to put a whole front end on this, a complete unit. But overall, I mean, it's fairly decent for what it is. Still has the parking brake, and I guess this is maybe for the cowl vent. Not quite sure. Not super familiar with these dudes. But if we would do the conversion to do the earlier car, this whole top piece, I believe, is part of the front end and then I can buy a lower section of the dash so we could put the old style dash in it and everything. So I'd really like to convince her to do that, but it's her car, so we'll see how we make out there. I also have some pretty decent seat frames and the other 2 door hinges. So this is a pretty decent start. Like I said, once we get doors and a chassis and all that other stuff, we can build the cowl back, but that's a while down the road. You can see we're still actively getting parts for that car to try to make something happen there. But now I gotta find a home for everything else. Yeah, so it was a pretty crazy weekend. A lot of prep. I spent basically all day Sunday unpacking the truck, unloading it, and getting everything resorted. And you can see I still have a mess here. I still haven't done anything on this car. This old girl's next on the list. And we did some more shuffling and got this one on the chassis. So this one's gonna sit temporarily like this until we can get to it. But both of these cars will be coming up here very shortly. And we're basically Roadster Shop chassis swapping the world. We have so many chassis on order, so many more coming, and everything's getting them. So there's a lot of good stuff here coming up very soon, I promise you that. And hopefully we'll be getting some information on the 68 Corvette's engine very soon. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And I got a lot of work to do, so I'll catch you guys later. And give him some support since he was able to put me on his videos on his channel.